And here's a quick reminder for you. There is still time to vote tonight. Polls close in New Jersey and Connecticut at 8 p.m. They close in New York at 9. And when the numbers come in, we'll have results on our website, cbsnewyork.com. Get to the polls as fast as you can, because sometimes they get crowded very late. Sometimes they keep them open. Sometimes they don't. So you might want to get over there now.
Take the chance.
Absolutely. Thanks for watching the news at 6 on CBS 2 and streaming on CBS News New York. I'm Dick Brennan.
I'm Dana Tyler. The CBS Evening News with Norah O'Donnell is next with a look at the nation's Election Day coverage. Our coverage begins tonight at 8 with updates throughout the evening. Remember, at 9, you can watch us on WLNY and streaming on CBS News New York. Then at 10, exclusive analysis of all races streaming on CBS News New York. And, of course, CBS 2 News at 11. Good night. Vote.
Tonight, America decides, the biggest night in politics. Who will control Congress and the governor's mansions across the nation? Tonight, the future of our country on the ballot. Voters head to the polls, the long lines.
It's going to go down in the history books.
The new information about the issues that drove voters to the polls.
Buying food, putting gas in the car, finding medicine.
Abortion's a big issue to me.
Democracy's on the line.
Our team is in the states that will decide the balance of power. The Trump factor. Tonight, the newest reporting as the former president plans to claim victory tonight and teases a future run for the White House. Hurricane warning. Tropical storm Nicole to make landfall Thursday as the first November storm to hit the U.S. in 40 years. And Powerball's $2 billion winner. We don't know who won, but we know where the golden ticket was sold.
I always say that. Good luck, this is the winner.
But this time it was true.
It's true. Always the dream come true.
This is a special edition of the CBS Evening News with Norah O'Donnell, reporting tonight from CBS News Election Headquarters in Times Square.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on the most important day for our nation's democracy, Election Day. Tonight, after months of campaigning and billions of dollars in spending, voters will finally have their voices heard in these historic midterm elections. Polling places opened as early as 6 a.m. in 10 states as long lines of voters were seen from Maine to Hawaii and every battleground state in between. We're getting new information about what was on voters' minds as they went to the polls. Inflation and abortion were the two top issues. Republicans tonight are increasingly confident that they will win control of the House and Senate, while Democrats are looking to defy history and hold on to their majorities. One race that will help determine control is Georgia's contest between incumbent Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock and Republican Herschel Walker. Exit polls show the top qualities that Georgia voters are looking for in the race are honesty and integrity and a candidate who shares their values. We have our team of correspondents covering all the key races, and CBS's Nicole Killian will start us off tonight from Atlanta. Good evening, Nicole.
Good evening to you, Norah. Turnout has been robust here in Georgia and nationwide as voters face a critical choice about the direction of the country and which party will control the levers of power in Congress.
Americans from coast to coast exercise their civic duty, from New York to Ohio and Georgia, where the line started early.
Well, I feel like democracy's on the line. So
polls are open.
With candidates' closing arguments complete, an all-hands-on-deck effort to drive more voters to the polls. Senator Raphael Warnock canvassed with volunteers in Atlanta and got a late endorsement from NBA All-Star LeBron James.
And there's only one choice when voting for senator, and that's Raphael Warnock.
The Democratic incumbent is fending off a challenge against Republican nominee Herschel Walker, with both candidates hoping to avoid a runoff.
Failure is not an option.
How concerned are you about Democrats across the board and this talk of a potential red wave?
Whatever the outcome is, in all of those other races, I've demonstrated that I know how to work with people on both sides of the aisle.
Republicans only need 5 seats to win the majority in the House, but the Senate remains a toss-up, with the Peach State and 5 others in limbo. New Hampshire is the latest added to the list amid an increasingly competitive contest between incumbent Democrat Maggie Hassan and GOP election denier Don Bolduc.
I will concede if I lose, but that's a big if right now.
I'm not going to lose. I'm going to win.
He has been working to cast doubt on today's election, which is an insult to the people of New Hampshire.
I think we're going to have a great night.
Former President Trump cast his ballot today in Florida after a last-minute push for Republican Senate candidate J.D. Vance, who's up against Democratic Congressman Tim Ryan in battleground Ohio. But the former president teed up his own potential 2024 run instead.
I'm going to be making a very big announcement on Tuesday, November 15th.
Trump also took to social media after problems were reported in Arizona's Maricopa County.
They gotta fix this problem. This is incompetency.
Where election officials say 20% of voting locations experience technical glitches.
There's a lot of confusion. A lot of people are leaving without voting.
Arizona election officials say it was a printer problem that has been resolved, but there have been a few scattered issues around the country, including here in Georgia, where 2 poll workers were removed today in Fulton County after social media posts showed them attending the January 6th riot. Nora?
Nicole Killian, thank you. Well, the country's most closely watched and most expensive Senate race is coming down to the wire in Pennsylvania. Democrat John Fetterman and Republican Mehmet Oz are in a dead heat with control of the Senate hanging in the balance. Exit polls show the electorate is divided on whether Fetterman is healthy enough to serve effectively as U.S. Senator. Right now, there's a bit more concern that Oz has not lived in the state long enough to serve effectively. CBS's Drika Duncan has the pulse of voters in the Keystone State.
As soon as the polls opened at 7 a.m., voters lined up ready and willing to wait. Democrat John Fetterman and his wife Giselle voted in their hometown of Braddock, Pennsylvania.
Who'd you vote for?
I voted for that guy.
The former mayor, who suffered a stroke in May, was dogged throughout the campaign by questions about his health. His opponent, celebrity doctor Mehmet Oz, cast his ballot this morning near Philadelphia.
We want less radicalism and more balance.
The bitter, hard-fought race was the most expensive in the country.
John Fetterman would raise everyone's taxes.
Oz is too extreme for Pennsylvania.
With almost $375 million spent, much of it on ads. Inflation, rising crime, and abortion rights dominated the discussion.
The Democratic Party is way, way off base as far as where they should be going to help Americans.
We stand for democracy. We stand for morality. We stand for humanity.
Tonight, there are major questions surrounding whether mail-in ballots with minor errors like the wrong date will be counted. Fetterman joined a lawsuit challenging the state's plan to toss the ballots as hundreds of voters have flooded Philadelphia City Hall to make corrections before it's too late.
This is just a flaw that is apparent on the outside of the envelope for an otherwise valid ballot. And under Pennsylvania law, they want to give people the opportunity to have those ballots counted.
Here at Fetterman's headquarters, some of his supporters are starting to trickle in. Now, one of the attorneys that is fighting to make sure that those ballots in question get counted, he told me today that a judge has, quote, set a status conference on this very issue, Nora, for tomorrow morning.
Drika Duncan with the very latest. Thank you. Let's turn now to the Midwest and the battleground state of Wisconsin. Republican Senator Ron Johnson is seeking his 3rd term in office against Democratic challenger Mandela Barnes, the current lieutenant governor. CBS's Adriana Diaz is in the Badger State, where crime was the subject of 70% of Republican ads. Good evening, Adriana.
Good evening, Nora. Now, election officials told us that turnout today felt more like a presidential election than a midterm. Democrats hope to flip the key Senate seat here because President Biden won the state just 2 years ago. But this is now. Mandela Barnes, who would become the state's first black senator, has mounted a stiff challenge against incumbent Ron Johnson. But Senator Johnson made gains in the polls by attacking Barnes on crime and linking him to rising inflation. That resonated with retirees Raymond and Marlene Solbert, who voted with their grocery bill in mind.
Senior citizens are having a hard time on their strict limited income, and so they're not helping senior citizens stay in their homes. They're just not. They're not doing anything for senior citizens to stay in their homes. It's like a forgotten subject.
There was one frightening moment this afternoon. A man with a knife entered a polling place north of Milwaukee and told the staff to, quote, stop the voting. Now, thankfully, no one was injured and the man was taken into custody without incident, but voting was paused for 30 minutes before the poll reopened. Nora?
Adriana Diaz, thank you. The first exit polls were released just a short time ago. The initial survey shows the electorate is older and there are more white voters heading to the polls compared to the midterms of 2018. CBS's Vladimir Duthier has taken a look at what voters say is driving them to the polls. Good evening, Vlad.
Good evening, Nora. These early exit poll results are based on voter interviews before Election Day, as well as on Election Day, to get a comprehensive look at this year's electorate. So here's what we found. Nearly 3 in 4 are feeling dissatisfied, including a third who say they are angry. So the question, why? You won't be surprised. The worsening economy. 3/4 say the economy is bad, and nearly half of voters say their family's finances are worse than they were 2 years ago. So what is the top issue driving voters overall? Inflation, in particular among those who are voting Republican. Abortion comes in second, but it is the top issue for those who are voting for a Democrat. Crime, which Republicans were spotlighting on the trail, well, just over 10% said it was driving issue of their vote. And Nora, nearly half say President Biden's policies are hurting the country.
Well, that could be a big factor tonight, Vlad. Thank you. Well, since 1946, the president's party has lost seats in the House in 17 of the 19 midterm elections. Tonight, Democrats are trying to defy history, with Republicans needing just 5 seats to take over the House and just 1 to take over the Senate. CBS's Nancy Cordes tells us for House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, there's more at stake than control of Congress.
There's a reason we're going to win. Republicans don't need a wave tonight. With Congress so evenly split, even a ripple would put Mitch McConnell back in charge of the Senate and make Kevin McCarthy Speaker of the House.
On that very first day that we're sworn in, you'll see that it all changes.
The president is already bracing for those changes.
What's your new reality going to be like in Washington? More difficult.
History shows Republicans have a good shot. Since 1934, the party in charge of the White House has lost, on average, 28 House seats and 4 Senate seats in midterm elections, forcing presidents to recalibrate whether they admit it.
I'm not recommending for every future president that they take a shellacking like I did last night.
Or not.
I tell you what, this was a great victory for us.
When Democrats took control of the House 4 years ago, they opened probes that led to President Trump being impeached twice.
Whatever happens, we will respect the results of the election.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who could soon lose the gavel, hinted last night that she might leave Congress altogether after the brutal attack on her husband.
I have to say my decision will be affected about what happened the last week or two.
President Biden spent the day calling around to various Democratic leaders, including Speaker Pelosi, and his team is already looking to set expectations. In fact, one Biden advisor pointed out to me this afternoon that several recent presidents have weathered difficult midterms and gone on to win re-election 2 years later, Nora.
Nancy Cordes, thank you very much. Well, for more on today's critical midterms, let's bring in CBS News Chief Political Analyst John Dickerson and CBS News Chief Election and Campaign Correspondent Robert Costa. Both great having you here and all night tonight. Can't wait to talk more about what we learned from these results. Robert, first of all, I know you've been talking to your sources. How are Republicans feeling tonight?
They're feeling pretty good. They're watching the Virginia House races, what's going to happen there, what's going to happen in Indiana. Those House races could be an early indication in the evening about where this is all going. And GOP leader Kevin McCarthy is already preparing for a possible speakership. He has been huddling in recent days with former House Speaker Newt Gingrich.
Let's talk about former President Donald Trump. He was in Ohio last night campaigning for a Senate candidate there, but talking mostly about himself. What about his future plans?
Party leader, CBS News has learned, pulled Trump back from making a 2024 announcement in Ohio last night, but he is still moving toward a 2024 presidential bid, and he's warning some of his rivals to stay out of the race. He just told reporters about it a couple hours ago that if Ron DeSantis, the Florida governor, gets in, he better be worried because, quote, I know more about him than anybody other than perhaps his wife, who is really running his campaign. A political shot fired by the former president.
Wow. A shot fired, and it sounds like a guy with research in the basement on Ron DeSantis.
And John Dickerson, let me ask you, what are you going to be watching for tonight?
Well, the term that Nancy used, recalibration, I'm looking for calibration in 2 places. One, elections in America. Will they go back to being the way they used to be? They were well run last time, but the former president raised doubts. Are the losers tonight going to lose gracefully? That's the first recalibration to look for. And the second one is when the White House recalibrates, if it does not go their way tonight. Remember, Bill Clinton said the era of big government is over. George Bush recalibrated after his thumping. What will the Democrats do? We've heard about what McCarthy's up to, but what will Joe Biden do really to recalibrate, or will he hunker down?
Robert Costa, John Dickerson, thank you very much. And a reminder, we'll have full coverage of the 2022 midterm elections tonight, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we hope you'll join us here at CBS News. We're going to turn now to Florida, where millions of people along the Atlantic coast are bracing for what could be a rare November hurricane, the first since 1985. Warnings are posted from Boca Raton to Daytona Beach as Tropical Storm Nicole gains strength. Mike Bettis is tracking Nicole for us at the Weather Channel. Hey there, Mike.
Nora, good evening. We know that Nicole's on a collision course with Florida. It's a tropical system now, has a much better presentation on satellite. Winds have increased throughout the day, and it's likely to intensify before landfall late Wednesday into Thursday. Hurricane warnings in effect here, as well as tropical storm warnings and tropical storm watches across Florida that extend up into Georgia. The track has remained pretty consistent, likely to be a Category 1 hurricane at landfall and then quickly racing off into the northeast, but a heavy dose of wind and rain over the next 48 hours across Florida and beyond as it comes inland, potentially even over the Gulf of Mexico, picked up by a big snowstorm in the middle of the country and forced across New England. The good news is that by this weekend, Nora expected to exit into the Canadian Maritimes, improving weather by Saturday.
Mike Bettis, thank you. Someone became an instant billionaire today, and we know who sold them the winning Powerball ticket. That story when we return.
Moderate to severe eczema still disrupts my skin. Despite treatment, it disrupts my skin with itch. It disrupts my skin with rash. But now, I can disrupt eczema with Rinvoq. Rinvoq is not a steroid, topical, or injection. It's one pill once a day that's effective without topical steroids. Many taking Rinvoq saw clear or almost clear skin, while some saw up to 100% clear skin. Plus, they felt fast itch relief, some as early as 2 days. That's Rinvoq relief.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers, including lymphoma and skin cancer. Death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Disrupt the itch and rash of eczema. Talk to your doctor about Rinvoq.
Learn how AbbVie can help you save.
Dude, you coming? Alka-Seltzer Plus Power Max gels with more concentrated power. Because the only thing dripping should be your style. Plop Plop Fizz Fizz with Alka-Seltzer Plus. Also try for fast sinus and pain relief.
With United Healthcare, my sister has a whole team to help her get the most out of her Medicare plan.
Wow. Advantage? Me.
Can't wait till I turn 65.
Take advantage with an AARP Medicare Advantage plan only from United Healthcare.
If you have type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure, you're a target for chronic kidney disease. They're the top 2 causes of CKD. CKD usually starts with no symptoms, so you can have it and not know it. To find out, check the kidney numbers from your lab tests. If you have chronic kidney disease, Farxiga can help slow its progression.
Farxiga can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, urinary tract or genital yeast infections in women and men, and low blood sugar. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may lead to death. A rare, life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Farxiga and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection, an allergic reaction, or ketoacidosis. And don't take it if you are on dialysis.
Take AIM at CKD by asking your doctor for your kidney numbers and how Farxiga can help. If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
Today's Powerball drawing was historic not only because it had the largest jackpot ever, topping $2 billion, but also because it was delayed nearly half a day. CBS's Christina Ruffini reports tonight from the Los Angeles suburb of Altadena, California, where the one winning ticket was sold.
Across the country this week, Americans exercised their right to hope.
2.04
$1 billion.
Somebody is holding on to a very important piece of paper this morning.
A single, still unidentified winner purchased the golden ticket at Joe's Service Center in Altadena, California.
I always say that. Good luck, this is the winner.
This time it was true.
Always the dream come true.
Joe Shahayed received $1 million check for selling that winning ticket. A Syrian immigrant, he came to the U.S. more than 40 years ago with only a few $1,000s.
Money is amazing, but is that important?
No. The love more important than the money. The family more important than anything in the world.
What's your message for the winner?
Oh man, go away and live your life the best life ever that you possibly can live.
Now, there are 22 tickets out there that match 5 of the numbers worth more than $1 million each. In California, the winner has a year to come forward, and that name will be made public. Nora?
I agree, though. Love and family, the most important thing. Thank you, Christina. Sky watchers were treated to a spectacular lunar eclipse today. We'll share images of the blood moon when we return.
If you can't watch the CBS Evening News, you can listen. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
If you wake up thinking about the markets and want to make the right moves fast, get Decision Tech from Fidelity. You'll get proactive alerts for market events before they happen and insights on every buy and sell decision. With zero commission online U.S. stock and ETF trades. For smarter trading decisions, get Decision Tech from Fidelity.
Time. It's life's most precious commodity, especially when you have metastatic breast cancer. When your time is threatened, it's hard to invest in your future, until now. Younger women are living longer with Kisqali when taken with an aromatase inhibitor in HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer. Kisqali is a pill that's proven to delay disease progression. Kisqali can cause lung problems or an abnormal heartbeat, which can lead to death. It can cause serious skin reactions, liver problems, and low white blood cell counts that may result in severe infections. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including breathing problems, cough, chest pain, a change in your heartbeat, dizziness, yellowing of the skin or eyes, dark urine, tiredness, loss of appetite, abdomen pain, bleeding, bruising, fever, chills, or other symptoms of an infection, a severe or worsening rash, are or plan to become pregnant or breastfeeding. Avoid grapefruit during treatment. Your future is ahead of you, so it's time to make the most of it with Kisqali. Because when you invest in yourself, everyone gets the best of you.
This is war, and we're up.
We knew this day might come.
Doesn't make it any easier.
The North Koreans came pouring over the 38th parallel.
Those boys are holding on by their fingernails. And they need what only we can give them.
Ready, set, hit it!
We're gonna give them hell.
Devotion, rated PG-13, in theaters November 23rd.
I brought in Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein.
Those who tried me felt more energy in just 2 weeks. Here, I'll take that.
Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients for immune health.
How can you be sure you're getting the right deal?
I have to talk to my bestie. This one's like your last boyfriend. It's got issues.
For the right used car, just say, show me the Carfax value. You'll get the most accurate price based on the vehicle's accident history. Shop at the all-new Carfax.com.
In a recent clinical study, patients using Salonpas patch reported reductions in pain severity, using less or a lot less oral pain medicines, and improved quality of life. That's why we recommend Salonpas. It's good medicine.
Coming up, what we've learned about the winner of the $2 billion lottery jackpot and that embarrassing glitch in announcing the numbers. Inside Edition next on your CBS station.
It was a marvelous day for a moon dance. The sun, moon, and earth aligned for a celestial event known as the Beaver Blood Moon Lunar Eclipse. It was visible across North and Central America, Asia, Australia, and New Zealand. NASA posted a composite showing the progression of the eclipse at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The moon's reddish hue is caused by the scattering of light in the atmosphere. And we'll be right back with a look at what both parties are looking for in tonight's election results.
This portion of the CBS Evening News is sponsored by Verzenio.
Living with metastatic breast cancer
means being relentless, because every day matters. And having more of them is possible with Verzenio, the only one of its kind proven to help you live significantly longer when taken with fulvestrant, regardless of menopause status.
Verzenio plus fulvestrant is for HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer that has progressed after hormone therapy. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
Every day matters, and I want more of them.
Ask your doctor about Everyday Verzenio.
This holiday season, save big on all the gifts you need for the gifts that keep on giving. Because while they have no idea what's going on here, a little something of their own will get them in the spirit. They don't know why you'd ever leave the house like this, but they'll happily hold down the fort while you're gone.
Smile.
And let's be honest, they'll never understand this whole situation. But they do get this. Thank goodness. Great prices, happy pets. Chewy.
Dude, you coming?
Because the only thing dripping should be your style. Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. With Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold and Flu Relief. Also try for Fizzy Fast Cough Relief.
I can't take my eyes off my eyes.
My go-to is Lumify eye drops.
Lumify dramatically reduces redness.
In 1 minute.
And look at the difference.
My eyes look brighter and whiter.
For up to 8 hours.
It was love at first sight.
With Lumify. See for yourself.
That's the thing about claims, you see. They don't happen on your schedule. I mean, take a chestnut. It doesn't just say, oh, beg pardon, but it's now a good time for a jolly bit of window cracking. Near as I can tell, chestnuts don't talk.
Geico, your claims team is here for you 24/7.
I've always been prone to hair thinning.
I was getting older.
I was under a lot of stress.
I started taking Nutrafol.
Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement.
I am back to me.
Start your hair growth journey at Nutrafol.com.
Are you tired of washing dishes? Well, flip the way you clean them with Dawn Platinum Easy Squeeze. It's an upside-down bottle with no cap. You just grab and squeeze. Dawn Platinum's more powerful formula breaks down and removes grease 4 times faster. Huh, nice. No flip, no mess. Platinum is also a go-to grease cleaner for your sink, your countertops, and to pre-treat stains on laundry. Fast, easy. Dawn Platinum Easy Squeeze. Flip the way you clean dishes.
Overactive bladder? I've been there. I also used to plan my days around finding a bathroom and fear of an embarrassing bladder accident. You're not alone, and you don't have to live like this. I don't. I found real relief with Axonics therapy, a proven non-drug solution, and I got my life back. Go to findrealrelief.com to get started. Ask a bladder specialist if Axonics therapy is right for you and to discuss potential risks. Results and experiences may vary. Your life is waiting.
As the first polls begin closing in some states, we want to get one final look at what's on the line in this crucial midterm election. CBS's Scott MacFarlane is here. All right, Scott, what are the key races you're watching?
Bottom line, 10 battleground states upon which balance of power in the U.S. Senate hinges. 6 of them, as we begin the night, are just toss-ups. 4 controlled by the Democrats now, from Nevada through New Hampshire. 2 of them controlled by Republicans, Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. So much comes with control of the U.S. Senate, such an impact on the Biden administration, from confirmation of federal judges to new law, even abortion rights. In the U.S. House, a little bit of a wider battleground, but still narrow. Just 36 Democratic seats, 12 Republicans. All 435 members of the House are on the ballot. Republicans need to net just 5 to get control. Back here at the Senate, it's worth underscoring, with 24 million plus mail-in ballots, it may be days until we get some results, including from the state of Arizona and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. It's more like election week than just election night.
All right, just because the process is slow does not mean that it is broken.
Still safe, still secure.
It means they are voting well. All right, and lots of people turned out. All right, Scott MacFarlane, thank you so much. And a reminder that CBS News will have full coverage of the 2022 midterm elections. That's tonight, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we hope you'll join us here at CBS News. That is tonight's CBS Evening News. I'm Norah O'Donnell. Good night, and we'll see you soon.
this moment, our experience let a peacekeeper take to the skies with peace of mind.